Hello everyone, my name is John Kortum. Some of you may know me from my adventures in intuition and healthcare, and some of you may know me as a residential trainer at the Monroe Institute. And I'm actually at the Monroe Institute right now at the very famous, now famous, mosaic that Patty Ray Avalon put together recently. It's quite beautiful. And what I want to tell you is, as a young boy growing up in the Chicago suburbs in the 1960s and 1970s, there weren't really educational resources for someone like me that was experiencing what I will call in the general sense of, uncommon forms of perception or expanded forms of perception. So the only place I could really turn to was television and movies. And in 1975, Walt Disney Productions came out with a movie called Escape to Witch Mountain. Quick synopsis of the movie: it involves two orphan children, Tony and Tia, who do not know where they come from or where their parents are. All they know is they possess psychic abilities that they cannot explain. Tia wears on her wrist what's called a star case, and at some point that star case cover is broken off to reveal a map to Witch Mountain, which the children eventually find their way to Witch Mountain and are reunited with their relatives who are aliens from another planet, which explains their psychic abilities. Now, when I saw this movie in 1975, I was mesmerized because I figured that someone must understand these uncommon forms of perception because they're putting them in movies in a way that paralleled some of my experiences that I was having. If I remember correctly, I made my parents take me to the movie 3 or 4 times. Now, going back to the movie, when Tia's star case gets broken open, it reveals a map. And you'll notice in the lower end of the map it says Stony Creek, and there's a dotted line, and it follows over to the left, and then it comes to Misty Valley Cooperative, and then the dotted line turns to the right and ends up at Witch Mountain. Now, what you need to understand is when you're looking at this map, it is not facing north, it is facing east. Okay? Fast forward. Okay, so I see this in 1975. I'm mesmerized by this movie. I go about my life. Now it's 1988. I found out about the Monroe Institute. I come to the Monroe Institute. And when I get here, I find out that there is a place called Stony Creek right nearby the Institute. For those of you that have spent any time at the Institute, you know that we get a lot of misty mornings here in the mountain area, so Misty Valley. And if I show you on my GPS the location of Stony Creek and how you would drive from Stony Creek to get to the Institute. Again, and keep in mind that the map is facing east as up. If you leave Stony Creek, follow that dotted line, it would lead you to what is known as Route 6 today. Okay? You would follow Route 6 up, and it turns, and then right there at Misty Valley Cooperative on the map from the movie would be the turn onto Adile Road, and then if you follow the dotted line, it leads right there in the movie towards Witch Mountain, but in this case it leads right to the Monroe Institute. And I thought it was compelling that I saw this movie in 1975, and now it's 1988. Now what's interesting is that movie came out in 1975, but the Monroe Institute would not be built until 1979. So, that information was already in the spectrum of human consciousness.